You are a walking billboard for you. You are always on show. You are your own advertising, and you never know the opportunity that's sitting right there in your chair if you just showed up. So, however you're feeling, whatever is going on, whoever chatting who in the place, whoever don't really like want to take your parking space, know that you are your advertising for you. So show up regardless.
Welcome to another episode of The Irreplaceable Dental Assistant. And as usual, I have a fantastic guest in store for you. I don't even know how to describe her. Speaker, innovator, energizer. You know what? I'm just going to let her describe herself. Welcome, Rochelle. Cameron, how are you doing today?
It's great to be on today. It's been a long time coming, but it's the right time.
It is the right time. So, Rochelle, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you? What do you bring to the world?
Oh. So I am a true daughter of Jamaica. Educated right here, went to prep school, high school, the great Campion College. We did so well at Champs this year. I went to the University of the West Indies, Mona, and I studied law. So I have also doing a portion of my degree in Barbados at the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill. I also have international business, again from the University of the West Indies, the Mona School of Business, and I get the distinct pleasure of serving as an attorney, which is most days. My lawyer friends keep saying, they're like, "Are you still a lawyer?" Always a lawyer. It is I have thoroughly enjoyed my what is now 25 years of practice. Looking forward to another 25 years. But I've also been I've had the opportunity of not only practicing in the courts, which I practiced in the courts, but I also practiced as a commercial lawyer in the corporate space. And in that space, I got exposed to people development. And so I currently run a firm called Prescient Consulting Services, where we pretty much kind of pull all of the legal skills, the people development, HR in from the perspective of developing people for the bottom line. At the end of the day, people are our greatest resource. They're our most expensive resource, in my view, our most valuable resource. And they are the resource that you don't just oil and put some WD-40, or put a lot of into how we serve our people internally, which affects how our people serve our customers, which therefore goes straight to the bottom line. My company, because of just the vast experience of the team, I have a great team of persons who are also very skilled in project management. So we do corporate events, and we also help organizations with things that they wish to outsource. So, for example, we'll do annual reports. I've worked as a company secretary, so I'm pretty versed with corporate governance. So we do work with annual reports. We've worked on a coffee table book. So the company was formed in 3 years ago. And we are a growing organization as we pull together just various skill sets. And how we describe ourselves is that we are a bridge for your solutions. So we help you to not only flesh out problems, but we pull together the necessary resources that you need to solve business problems. So what it has been is just a career that I have been exposed to. I've been exposed to crisis, I've been exposed to success, I've been exposed to diminishing returns, I've been exposed to great profit, and I'm able to pull this together with a great team so that we can serve organizations organization, small, large, medium, and we're going global. So that's us in a nutshell.
See, now you see why I could not introduce Rochelle the way we traditionally introduce a guest. I would know where to be. This diversity, it's just amazing. All in one little self. But that just speaks to your belief in innovation. So, Rochelle, what is innovation and why do you think it is necessary?
Okay. So I actually found I was in the traffic because, as I was telling you, I was stuck in traffic and I was thinking about this whole concept of innovation. And we treat innovation as this thing. It's almost like it's coming. Christmas is coming. Innovation is coming. Innovation is a DNA. It's a DNA issue. It's a core matter. So how I like to term it is everything that an organization or a person thinks they are capable of, they can do that much more. So innovation is about us constantly wiping that board clean and taking everything we do to another level. And we think sometimes innovation is like product innovation, coming up with a new MacBook. Yes. Innovation is at core how we deliver services in the most efficient manner for our customers. So we're always setting a bar. So an organization needs to always ask itself, how long does an end-to-end process take? And every time we think that we've set an insurmountable goal, we can go 1 minute less, we can go 1 hour less, we can go 5 days less. So when you think about how products and services have evolved over the years, and even through COVID, the things that were able to happen in a short time, entire offices packed up, people went home, and processes revisited, we are by nature creatures of innovation. What happens is we get comfortable with what we know and we get lazy. So innovation is that magic that takes us from comfort, pulls us out of our comfort zone. In fact, it makes us not get into our comfort zone because we're constantly thinking, how can we do this better?
Yes, I get that. I truly, truly get that. So in many workspaces, Rochelle, today conformity rather than growth and creativity is what is expected. Do you agree? And if so, how does someone on a growth trajectory navigate through that?
Let me give you this example. If you think of the route you take to go to work, the route you take to go to church, the route you take to go to the supermarket, our lives are routes. So we do like routine as people. We like to know that's going to take us 2 minutes to get to work. It will take us 12 and a half minutes. And we do not like to see anything called detour or roadworks ahead. But you know what roadworks ahead and detours mean? That we drive into some places where we're just like, my gosh, them did build a place here. But let me know, say that old building, let it go up there. So, but you know, so this is actually a shorter and a better route. So we to grow as people, to grow personally and professionally, we have to be willing to get out of the space that say, I saw me stay, I saw we do it. I saw me always do it. You've been doing the same thing and it's been working, but you don't do that self-audit to say, maybe there could be some roadworks ahead. Let me try this juncture. So even in working in organizations, which is, I have had an opportunity, and because I think I am curious by nature, I want to learn everything. And nowadays we can't say things like, no man, me can't learn that, because same way we're on YouTube and TikTok and everything, we can learn anything you can find on YouTube to do. You can do courses free. And sometimes even within an organization, we go in there and we're like, so how me now move another department here? Maybe that's not department for you. What else have you learned about the organization as a whole? Because growth is, we can grow in the area, in our core area, sometimes we have to be willing to even take a step down so that we are able to grow in a new area and learn to be able to move a step up. But we are by nature afraid of the thing that we want. We want growth, but we have to be willing to take that extra step, with that detour, willing to be in a state of continuous learning in order to grow. Otherwise, I saw mistake.
And the thing about it is, when you determine that this is where you stop, it's not even as if you stay there, because other folks are constantly moving. You're immediately behind.
Exactly.
Yes. Rochelle, I know that you champion teams to be disruptive, to push beyond the status quo. What exactly do you mean by that?
Again, it is, and just historically, I started out working in the court system, which was really the trajectory that I had in mind. And through my own life disruptions and some choices, I ended up in corporate. And I worked for a major telecoms. I worked for Cable and Wireless for several years, and through a very disruptive time of liberalization, so much so that I was like, look how much other companies just not going through anything like this. Why would I choose at this time to be here? What it taught me though, and even now as I recruit and as I mentor and coach persons, you want to experience organizations that are dynamic and go through change. You want to experience a bit of chaos too, because it is in those chaotic times that you do recognize your own skill sets, and there's sometimes like a tough exterior that you have to develop in order to grow and in order to move. And what that disruptive time and a career that was just ever growing, ever changing, leadership changes and so on, is that I was exposed at the time. You never even realized that you were exposed to just different dynamics that says to you, yeah man, we can change, we'll be fine. We were fine. And that you also, it was a competitive industry that, let me tell you, somebody's coming for your food, you know.
Yes.
Coming to eat your food. No, people are not waiting on you to decide when to grow. I was watching Boys and Girls Championship. Champion, we did well. I saw us in a lot of races. But you know, I marveled at, you know, whether we could bottle the fire that these young people have, the kind of training and constant disruption of daily experience that these young people go through for the level of performance. So VCB's 22-year-old record at championship was broken, was smashed, because somebody is like, that's the record, I'm gonna break it. And somebody else is in grade 5 and they're like, that's not a record, I'm going to demolish that record, you know? And so if we even think about it, how competitive we are and how we are about sports, athletics and football, when you look back at what was great 10 years ago, what was great 15 years ago, somebody else is coming with a fire, with a hunger. So disruption is not just about, oh, let's disrupt because it sounds also sexy. It is about this constant reinvention that says, I can be 10% better than my last best self. And 10%, just that 10%, even that 1% change can cause such a phenomenal change and growth and movement. And when you look at just somebody training that much harder and going deep in for the line and not slowing down, what that means for a record, we have to be going. We always have to be saying, if that could be done, I wonder if. So you're constantly seeking to outperform yourself, and that's the basis of disruption.
You know, that's so interesting, because we've been socialized to believe that when we achieve success, life becomes easy. And this is so contrary to your belief in grit and the grind of success. It's just amazing that we thought we would get to a point where you sit back and relax, but the reality is you breathe a moment and then you get going again.
And that's where the excitement is. So I can tell when I walk into an organization, those persons who wished to come to work today, not whether or not they like working there, but that they wanted to come to work today, that they didn't draw their slippers coming in, and act like they're doing you a favor because they thought they would reach somewhere else. Sometimes you haven't reached anywhere else, not because of the organization, but you actually haven't presented yourself and made yourself available for another step. And my thing is that, listen, if it ain't working out for you, it's fine. Go. Don't bring down the place because you would need to draw yourself coming in the days. You have to make yourself available. You have to make yourself available for your opportunities, And let me tell you, see, when people see that in you, people go to a business place for people, for the relationships.
Yes.
That person who always remembers their name.
Yes.
I always tell the story of I do love Fontana a lot. I go there, it's right up the road. And my young son fell asleep in the car, and I go there so regularly that when I don't go for like a week, Miss Cameron, where are you? And I just go buy up them things that I don't need. And but you always want to go where someone knows your name.
Yeah.
So he falls asleep in the car, and I drive up, and the security is like, "Where the little boy there?" So I'm like, "Him around here sleeping." Him said, "Just pull up the car right here, so." And he takes and sits beside the car to watch him. Him said, "Go and go do what you're doing."
Oh my goodness. Priceless.
The security. So the security is securing my business.
Can you imagine?
That's amazing. What we can do and the impact we can have in our roles.
You know what I love about that example? We're not even talking about the person who is supposed to serve you at the counter or the person who is supposed to determine what you wish to buy. We're talking about the person who is there just to make sure that everything on the outside runs okay. And this person is going above and beyond. Oh my goodness. That is such a good example. And it is true, when you walk into a place, depending on how you're greeted, depending on the body language, you can tell whether people are there because they've caught the vision and they just want to make you feel welcome because they understand the value of you as a customer, as a client coming in, choosing to come in and use their business. So kudos to that security guy. He understood.
The assignment.
He understood the assignment. So much so that I don't know how long ago that happened, but you're still talking about it. In fact, you're talking about it on an international podcast. It made an impact. So, Rochelle, what advice would you give to a dental team wanting to be known as distinctive?
So I have always had quite a fair, but I think a pretty healthy dislike for going to the dentist. And I think most people do not necessarily get great joy from the concept of going to the dentist. They go to the dentist because they think they should, and teeth are apparently very important, if for nothing else, or facial construction. They matter. And when I have thought of my experiences that have been truly memorable, it is an experience that has not been about going to the dentist, but about going to a place that's almost like a home.
Yes.
Where for a moment, and I'll put it this way, just think of when you go to get your teeth cleaned. At that point, there's really nothing else you can do. You just get to shut down. And for somebody that's busy like me, when I can go into an environment, one, that you wanted me to come, and I can tell whether or not you wished for me to come. I'd like to also know that you knew I was coming, so you looked on the list to check what my name is. Because let me tell you something, the foundation advice, and just, if nothing else anybody leaves with, the sound of a person's name is the sweetest sound to them. Nothing is sweet like people calling your name. And there's always that shock. You know me? You remember me? Of all the people that come in, you actually remember me. And secondly, that we get so much more done with a softened face, with a smile. Yes. A smile in the very profession that's about smiling. And a smile, but they say, but I have on the mask and all of that. But I can tell from the sound of your voice, from your eyes, from your body language, whether or not you are smiling. So a smile is not just that I can see your smile, I can feel your smile. At the end of the day, we get caught up with the training and how adept we are and competent at the technical skills, and what keeps and draws people to you and your profession is how you have made them feel, that you have remembered their names. It mattered to you to explain to them what is going on. You start out the procedure not just with a drill in my mouth, but you ask me, how am I doing? Because I am a person. And we are able to get so much more out of people when we are able to infuse our technical skills with just these life things, these things that we can make come naturally to us. And the third thing I'd say is, remember people's name, always smile. But whatever is happening in your organization, wherever you think you really should have been at this point in your life. I always say, people always think they should have been somewhere else, but you're here now. You're here for a reason, so you're there now. You are a walking billboard for you. You are always on show. You are your own advertising, and you never know the opportunity that's sitting right there in your chair if you just showed up. So, however you're feeling, whatever is going on, whoever chatting who in the place, whoever don't really like want to take your parking space, know that you are your advertising for you. So show up regardless.
That is such great information. I'm going to share a story with you. I always say to my staff members, let's prepare in advance, okay? Because the more prepared we are, the easier it is for us to show all the things that you've just listed. So we had a patient coming in, and she's coming for the first time, but we know that she's scheduled to come in at this time. So she comes through the door and we greet, oh, hi, Miss Cameron, how are you doing? She looks around, she looks scared. Do I know you? No, we haven't met before, but she's bowled over that we have spoken to her by name. We've addressed her by name. And it just goes to underscore what you say. Sometimes it can be someone you've seen before, but if you plan it right and you're expecting a new patient at 10 o'clock and it's a man, and at 10 o'clock a man walks through the door, chances are it's Mr. Jones who you were expecting. Call him by name, you've caught him. You've caught him. And I agree with you. In fact, I will say to my front desk staff, smile before you answer the phone, because even though they can't see it, they can feel it. And thirdly, you're right. There's an example that I'll share with you. I was speaking to one of my team members, and she was in a taxi on her way home, but something had happened, and so she called me to share that one of my clients needed some further assistance, and we were talking about it on the phone because I have an emergency phone from my patients they can call after hours. So after she was finished and she sorted out the patient, the taxi man said, where you work? Because he was so impressed of her willingness to go above and beyond to sort out somebody who was not even in the office, but who was having a concern. So underscore, underscore, and underscore. We're on the same page. Thank you for highlighting those points. So necessary, so simple to do, but so seldom done, or so seldom done well. So this is our encouragement to keep smiling. Remember to speak to people using their names. In fact, if you've spoken with them before and they've shared something, when they come back, just make a little note so when they come back, you can follow up. So how did that go?
And again, you see, those are little innovations. You don't have to try and remember everything in your head. You could just make a note. When the appointment comes up, you have a section of the appointment book. You have your little notepad where you note that her shoes, they look really nice the last time, and she looked like when you tell her, Sarah, you look good.
Yeah. Everything is relational. Just make people feel wanted and supported and cared for, and it makes all the difference in the world. That is the truth. Rochelle, this has been such a wonderful time of sharing. Before I end my podcast, I always ask, is there a quote you'd like to share? If you have, great. If you don't, I'll happily share mine.
Okay, so I'd love to hear yours, but I'm actually going to turn to, I have a big sign on my wall that it's Joshua 1:9. It's my constant reminder, and it's written like this: be strong. It actually, the title is Go Be Great.
Oh, say that again.
Go be great.
Oh, love that.
Verse, which we know, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord will be with you wherever you go. And I always have that in mind, that whatever I come up with, because my team always says I'm always jumping off into something, I'm like, come on, guys, we can do this. That I have the assurance.
Absolutely. That is absolutely awesome. I'm not going to cloud the space by sharing mine. I'm just encouraging all our listeners to go be great. Such a wonderful way to end this podcast. You need to promise me one thing, though. Just one thing. Are you ready?
Ready.
That you will come back and share with us on another occasion.
For sure. And just congratulations on the work you have been doing, the discipline, because that's one of the things that I'm trying to get across to young people, to start something, see it through, take it right where it's supposed to go and build on it. And I just want to say, Heather, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. People like you make it worth the while. Thank you for your kindness to come and just share with us. And these were gems upon gems upon gems. So hopefully my listeners will listen again and again and again. And more importantly, activate. Well, there you have it. Rochelle just laid it all on the table. Innovation allows us to evaluate what we're doing and to constantly wipe that board clean and begin again and again to take it to another level. I mean, how we deliver services in the most efficient ways to our clients is what really counts. It pulls us out of our comfort zone, and that's what's necessary. We have to be disruptive, constantly improving ourselves. Even in an organization, we need to be on the grow. We must be prepared to challenge ourselves and move towards the mark, incrementally making changes. If it's just 10% at a time, we need to be prepared to stay on the grow. We need to make ourselves available for opportunities to go be great. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so and share this podcast. Life is better when we live, learn, and grow together.